Hi everyone, welcome to COP1000. Now this video is just going to give you a broad overview of what the course is and what to expect and where to find things. I've got a number of other videos throughout the course that'll help you understand specific concepts or how to perform certain tasks. So with that said, if you're seeing this video, you already passed this homepage, and this is your homepage, your landing page, whenever you enter the course. Okay. On the left, you'll see your grades, your assignments, and the modules. The modules is a one-stop shop, a place to go get individual items that you may need to access. But for the most part, you can access everything you need through this homepage. We'll go module by module, and here's our Start Here Welcome module. A lot of important information within that first module. And if you're seeing the video, you've already gone there, which it is that Welcome to COP1000 module. Now we also have a number of other modules all the way through module 13. And module 13 is just the final exam and an evaluation bonus points assignment that you can. It's optional, but it's a bonus 2 points at the end of the course just for filling out an online observation or evaluation. So let's go ahead and start where you've already started with the Start Here. And here we are with a welcome page. And on that welcome page, where you've started the video, which would have been right here, a little bit about myself. I've got my bio back on the home page. A description of the course, specific course objectives, and I do focus on these course objectives. That's what we've set as the objectives for every student leaving these courses or this course, and these are the proficiencies that you need to have when you leave. Now I've got the chapter that I introduce whatever that objective is, and the chapter that I measure that objective in. From there, we've got a number of steps that we can go to beyond that. Now, within the course, you'll have navigation in the bottom right-hand corner here, this Next button. But along with that Next button, I try to put links within each module. So each module is going to have its own homepage. And if we go through Next, it'll take you through each one of these pages. I need you to go access each one of these pages individually. And we can go this route by clicking Next or just click there. This is highlighted because I still have to update this data before the course rolls out. But here's technical support data that you can get relative to the course, how to access things. If we proceed, got communication policy, how I communicate with you and how I expect you to communicate with me, and ways to ensure that our communication is safe and secure. Okay. We'll go next. We've got academic integrity and etiquette guidelines or policies within this institution. And I don't take this lightly. There's a great deal of paperwork and extra work that I have to go through each time somebody decides they want to take a shortcut and submit work that somebody else has created or that they found online somewhere, rather than actually doing it themselves. All right. Each assignment is expected to be a unique work created by you for this specific course. Yes, you can plagiarize yourself by taking something that you've submitted previously in another course and submitting it to my course as being something fresh and newly created for this course. All right. If there's any questions on that policy, please reach out, let me know. And we've got different web pages set up here for you: accessibility and privacy policies, student success, and online library resources. So just review those resources and know you have the ability to reach out to them here. Okay. We've got online learning resources and how to be successful in online learning. I'm going to add in here at some point, I'm hoping to get it done in the next few weeks before the course starts, a tips and tricks of how to be successful online and managing your online time. Not just your online time, but overall time management skills. Okay. If we proceed, got introductions. Okay. You'll just come down here, reply. I appreciate if you reply to other people. They like to know that they're not just talking to themselves when they post. And frequently asked questions, and I am continuously updating this with different resources, what to find, where to find it, how to find it, whether it's in the course, within the institution, outside the institution, whatever it may be. Okay, so there's an FAQ section. We'll click next. There's an assignment support forum, which this link, for whatever reason, is not currently open. It's a discussion, much like that introduction discussion that you saw. The difference is, this discussion is a place for you to go ask your peers, others in this course, questions about assignments, the course itself. Could be another course. This is a place for you to go. Think about it like a chat room to go help each other and to go get help. Okay. Maintain a level of professionalism in here. There's an expectation that you'll post at least 3 times in here. It just needs to be substantive, not, hey, great idea, but of some substance. Why was it a great idea? Okay. And you'll see that'll be open just like the introductions was. Okay. There'll be a schedule posted here for you that'll have every assessment and the date that it's due. Okay. Some of the Mindtap assessments may not show up in your calendar. You'll have a calendar over here on the left. You may not see those in there, but they are in this schedule of due dates. So everything you have to do in this course is listed by the date, when it is due. Now, when I say when it is due, I mean D-U-E, not D-O. So don't wait until that day to do it. Make sure that you have it done or completed long before that DUE date. Okay. So we'll go ahead and proceed. Expectations in programming, some tips and tricks relative to programming and generic rules that we go by. Okay. Different software that you'll be required to use within the course. Raptor is a flowcharting tool. It is not compatible with Mac. There are a few assignments that require Raptor on. Python, you do not have to download the Python IDE. You can use replit.com, and we'll use that for a number, if not almost all of the assignments that are actual programming assignments for projects. There are multiple versions of Python. We are currently using a 3.x version. You may still have access to a 2.x. There may be tutorials out there on the web for 2.x. The difference between 2 and 3 is that 2 was very implicit, meaning it assumed things, whereas 3 is not implicit at all. It's very explicit. It expects you to tell it everything in detail that you want done. So here's repl.it. There's a link to go set up your account in repl.it. Like I said, that's where you'll submit the majority of your projects. SoloLearn is a great external resource on programming, not just this language, but a number of different languages. Any resource you can get to build up or get exposure to other languages and for free, it's a great resource. Okay, so this automatically takes us into, once we've completed that Start Here module, this takes us into the Module 1 overview. And if we kept going, this would go right on through the course. Got an introduction, the specific module objectives, which course learning outcome we're dealing with. Could be more than one. what you need to do, and here's the things you need to go accomplish or review, see, read, whatever it may be, but these items are not graded. These down here are graded, the graded items. You've got a discussion, you've got a Mindtap exercise you need to do, and I give you a video showing how to complete that exercise. You've got a test to complete, it takes about 60 minutes, and you've got a reflection to complete. Estimate about 30 minutes to complete it. Now, one thing I've been doing in recent semesters is collecting information from students. That's what this reflection is. And from that, I can give you insight and feedback from those previous students. And if we click on there, difficulty level. In the past, students have traditionally said that this module, Module 1, has a difficulty level of 2 on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being very difficult, 1 being very easy. I'll ask you the same question when you get done with this module. How difficult did you find it to be? Why? Why was it difficult? Was it because you weren't prepared for it from something I may have fallen short on, or were you not prepared for the course because of a shortcoming in a previous course you've taken? Time management insights from other students, previous students, and tips and tricks in how to be successful. A previous student said that they had a MacBook Pro and they used something to work around and actually use Python on their Mac. I don't recommend this, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to share tips and tricks that other students have come up with. Okay. A great many programming languages are not compatible with Mac. And it's nothing against Mac. It's just the resources they require to run do not exist within a Mac operating system. Okay. So if we proceed from there, there's tips and tricks, insights. We've got a number of different lectures, different videos. Most of them, a vast majority of them, I've created, and then I bring in some from other resources. And here it could just be, here's a link to videos on what is an algorithm. And in essence, an algorithm is, it's like a recipe of sorts. If I said, I'm going to make macaroni and cheese from scratch, well, that's the task that I'm going to perform. But the recipe itself, the ingredients, the exact amount of each ingredient, the listing of those, as well as what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, and a step-by-step progression, sequential, that's our algorithm. Okay. And then from there, this will take us to a Mindtap exercise. Now, it's not an exercise itself. This is a review. This is a link to their third-party content. Now, this course requires the use of Mindtap. I know it's a Cengage product. It's listed in the textbook resources, and it is, in essence, a textbook resource because it's a digital textbook included within this third-party software. If we click this, it'll open up in a new tab. Make sure that you have your enable pop-ups within your browser, and the browser that we should be using is Chrome. Allow pop-ups to be enabled so that this will pop up in that new window. All right. This should already link for you, and it would have taken you to Cengage. It's just the modality that I happen to be in Student View that it won't allow me to link into it. I've got different videos that are posted throughout the course itself that show how to get into Cengage. All you have to do is click on those to get in. Now, when it comes to Cengage, many of you may have a Cengage account existing, and if you go somewhere other than the bookstore to buy it, say you go straight to Cengage, and you add this course to it, they will ask you for a course number, course code. Now, if you access Cengage Mindtap through any of the links that I have in the course, you will not be required to have that course key or code. All you'll need is the access key or access code that you purchase from Cengage. That's that bundle with Mindtap. So once you click on it, it'll prompt you to enter that number in. Boom, you're in. Now this is a trial period. You don't have to have the text straight away. We've got a certain number of days or weeks, depending on the length of the course, it's a percentage, on how much free time you have to try this out without having paid for it yet. Okay. So with that said, there's nothing stopping you from completing the work if you have not yet acquired the textbook. So I shouldn't get an email saying, I didn't get the work done because I didn't get the textbook yet. You've got a trial version of it to where you can set up your Mindtap account and access it for free for that trial period and complete any work that's assigned. Don't assume that these things will stay open forever. There's a due date. Expect them to close on the due date. If they don't, you got lucky and got extra time. If they do, then they closed when they were expected to close. From time to time, I may leave things open a little bit longer. Don't expect it, though. I don't accept late work. I do, however, have what I call, I'm going to click in the modules and take you back to that welcome page. I've got what I call as my had a bad day policy. Okay. And my had a bad day policy. What that means is, if we go back to that frequently asked questions page, right here I've got it spelled out. I call it my had a bad day policy. That policy addresses things that come up during the course by dropping the lowest scores in this list below. And what I mean by had a bad day, things come up. We all have bad days. And let's say on a specific day, there were 10 assignments due. Well, not likely to be 10, but let's say there were 10. There were 10 assignments due. And you had a test to do, and you had a project due, and you had a discussion, and you didn't do your reflection. So that Sunday, that everything was due, and they're traditionally due on Sunday, but don't assume it's always on a Sunday. Refer back to that schedule. I look at it like, rather than setting up extra work, if you didn't do what you were supposed to do when you were supposed to do it, all right, had a bad day, I'm going to drop those lowest grades. So the 10 lowest exercise scores, they automatically drop in the grade book. The 2 lowest test scores, they drop. 1 project, 2 discussions, and 1 reflection. So if you didn't do 1 reflection, wouldn't have any impact on your grade whatsoever. Say 10 assignments you didn't do, no impact on your grade whatsoever, because those lowest 10 got dropped. Okay, so no late work. Now that's not to say that if things come up, there aren't rare occasions to where we need to address things. What that requires is communication between you and I. Okay, and that communication starts with you. Okay. So reach out and let me know what's going on, how you want to resolve these things before they happen. I always compare it to a wedding cake. Let's assume you are the contractor or the baker that's baking my wedding cake. And I've contracted with you a year in advance. And you're going to bake that cake for me. $1,000 you're going to receive to bake that cake. And you want $250 up front and the other $750 when you deliver that cake. And the day of the wedding shows up, but you don't. And I don't hear from you. And somebody has to run off to Publix and go get a cake, and we adapt and overcome, and then Lo and behold, 4 days later, I get a call from you. Hey, I got your cake. I need to get my $750. It's not going to happen. I'm not saying that these assignments are as important as your wedding day or as a wedding day. But they're important. I take them seriously. I don't take them lightly. I want you to get in the habit of completing work when it's supposed to be done and the way it's supposed to be done. Okay? This course, if you've looked online and Rate My Professor or whatever, this course, along with many of my other courses, have a substantial amount of work. I don't want you to be intimidated by it. I look at it like going to the gym. Right? If you're going to get in good shape, odds are you need to go to the gym and exercise. That doesn't mean you have to be going to the gym and lifting a ton of weight and just beating yourself up. You can go get in great shape by lifting lightweight over time. And that's what I have you do is assignments that are not over the top difficult. I give you videos showing you how to get through it and why we do things a certain way and how they work. So that when the time comes at the end of a module, if there's a project, you're prepared to do that project. Okay. So all these things build up the skills needed to complete the projects. Right. And there's a number of projects within the course. Do not, by any means, do not go out online and copy code or use code that you found online and submit it as your own. And we talked about that before. These assignments that I've got may look very similar to something that you may see online. Don't assume it's the same thing. That could get you in a lot of trouble because you'd end up submitting something that has nothing to do with what I'm looking for. Right? So if there's any confusion on the assignments, what to do, how to do, just reach out to me. It's a link over here on the left, inbox, shoot me a message. Okay? So with that said, let's go back and look at our home page, see what we've got ahead of us. We're going to start out with an overview of computers and programming, what it means to have high quality programming, what structure is, how to make decisions. You make decisions every day. The logic that we use in computer programming is something that you're used to. Something that we use all the time is a conditional statement. That's an if statement. If this happens to be true, then we will do that. If the car has gas, then I can make it to work. Else, I need to find a ride or I need to get gas. That's the logic that we have in programming. But it's things that we do every day. Looping, we'll talk about that, and I've got videos describing that. Arrays are kind of like boxcars on a train, storing like items in each car. And then we'll actually, rather than just having our data floating out virtually, we'll write it down in a file and connect to that file and save it. We've got a number of different things that we'll deal with when it comes to modularization and object-oriented programming. We'll start out with sequential programming. Step by step, everything happens in a specific sequence, start to finish. But then by the time we get towards the end, we'll deal with object-oriented programming as well as GUI in this last module. And I've got some other things that I'm playing with that I may add in there over the coming terms that could allow us to play with potentially AI or IoT. Okay? And as I said previously in this last module, it's our final exam and evaluation. If you click on any of these, they'll take you right to that overview or welcome page, splash page for that module. And it's the same thing in essence that we saw for module 1. The same kind of thing. Okay? So I look forward to having you in the class. Make sure you've gone and set up your Mindtap, set up an replit.com account, and post your introductions. And I'll talk to you soon.